Welcome to all the classic car enthusiasts. Amir's on the other end of the camera so we can show you these top and bottom ball joints. We've already, as in all cooking programs, Amir's already done one. Between us we've set this one up, and you can see that is just got enough tension on it. This is the bottom one with a spring in it, and then this is the top one, the same. What you'll see in a lot of videos is the guys are pushing these over from one side to the other, which is good to correct. It's good to make sure it's correct. But you have to remember, in the majority of the time, this is actually it's not doing anything. It's only swiveling in this ball. So this is straight when it's on the upper and lower arms. So taking it to that extent would never happen. But it is good to make sure it's nice and smooth all the way through. And same with the top one. So that's the actual position with the arms on it. So that one we've done, and we've kept this one here to show you. So this is the old lock tab, and it's been taken down. So what we'll do is we'll open that up, and a lot of these balls can be cleaned up and rechecked again. So there you go. Now look at the dirt under there, and on top of here, you can see how much gunge is inside there. You can see all that crap that's inside it. So in fact, sometimes when you're doing that, when you're moving the ball around, you actually might be going against all this rust and rubbish inside, and this might be quite. In fact, there you go. It's come out the top. So if you look inside here now, if you bring the camera over, you can see that there's just a grease hole there, and there's just the ball seat here, and you can see how much crap is on that ball seat. So obviously they need to be cleaned out. That one's just open. So the top one has just got a seat on it, and the bottom one, I'll turn it over. Wow, that's seriously tight. And the top one, the bottom one. I'll turn this over and we can open it up and you can see it for yourself. It needs to be fairly tight because I'm wrenching on it. So this one's opened up again as well. So I'll open this one up. You can see that wasn't particularly tight. This hasn't been opened, pre-opened. So we'll open this one up and we'll see how this is inside. Yeah, same situation. You can see there's hardly any grease. That's mostly, well, it's grease, but it's dried up, it's rusty, and you can see how badly that's worn that ball joint. So now we'll take this one out. You want to have a look inside? Okay. We'll take this one out, and you can see there's a lot of crap in there, and there's the spring underneath. The reason this spring is in here is to preload the ball. So when this is in, because it's upside down, this is gravity basically, and this spring is forcing against it. So when you want to repair these, you must take the spring out, set it up, as we're going to show you in a minute, set it all up, and then only when the shims are the correct distance and the ball is working correctly, then put the spring back in, and obviously what you do is you take the spring out, put the cap in, and then tighten down on it without the spring in it. Yeah, get it to the point where it moves well, and then take it apart. So don't put these tabs over until you're actually finished on the job. So we'll do this one. So the first thing you want to do, in fact the best thing to do is actually put some grease through this first of all before you start cleaning it up, because you want to make sure the hole is clean. So you put some grease through there, which I think, have we still got the airline? Yeah. So we can put this grease gun on here, and you can see. Can you see it coming through? You can see it. That should remove any debris. It should bring any crap up with it that's in there. Not do that thing. Perfect. There you go. Best assistant in the world. So. Anyway, I won't go. We'll clean all this up obviously now. So you can see here that there's some shims on it, and different size shims. It's really handy to hang on to some of these. And then what I'll do is I'll take that. So you can see there was 2 shims on that. Now there's no point, oh, it's 3 shims in fact. These are very fine. Some of these are only 1/8 thou or so. In fact, there's another 4 of them. There you go. Is it 4? Yeah, 4. Any more? No, that's it. So this is 8mm, isn't it? This, yeah, yep. The grease. So you can take out the grease nipple, and then we can take this off. And that's basically, this locking tab is only held in by that grease nipple, but we know that's working now. So that what we'll do now is we clean it, you clean the base of that off. Then when you put your new one on, this is a new set here, and obviously there are 2 different types. There are, hang on, where are we? Yeah, sorry. So when we go to put this on now, you need to take the thickness of this washer itself, and when you start to tighten it. So if I put this together, this is an old one. I'll put a new one in. There's a new seat, and you can see the seats get worn here. You can see how badly worn that is inside, and you can see that this is where it's turning on. So in fact this is stationary, this bolt arm, and this is what's turning. So it's that ball and socket movement, and there's very little movement on it. It's mainly this left and right of the steering. So basically you'd put a new one in, then the first time you put it on and tighten it, there's a couple of methods of doing this. You can see that's just a little fraction tight. Once it, so there's just nice movement on it. Then what you need to do then is take feeler gauges, which we have here, and you want to check the distance between the bottom of this. Obviously once it's clean, you want to check the distance between there and try and be very careful. Do it all the way around just in case, and check the distance, what that distance is. And whatever the feeler gauges is saying is obviously the distance is the shims that you need, plus your new tab. So you need to work out what the thickness of this tab is underneath, and then the shims to go with it. That's one way of doing it with a feeler gauge. The other way is trial and error. Is basically get a basic amount that you need, and then add or take shims out until you get to a point where once the shims are in, you should be locking it down. Yeah, not the locking plate, but you should be locking the nut down, and then get it to a point where it's reasonably, where it moves nicely. It shouldn't be floppy, and it shouldn't be too tight. If you have to push it over, that's too tight. So that's the 2 ways to do it. There's really not that much involved in it, but obviously getting everything nice and clean is definitely the way to go. So that's come out on the top of there. So that's really all you need to do. But these ball joints, where's that come off of? Here, another one. We've got a poltergeist in here. Martin said he saw an orb or something, whatever that is. Yeah, so it's really important that the grease is in here and it's in the socket and the ball, because, as I say, that's what's doing all the work. This thing is turning inside. So this hub carrier is turning, and this is stationary because obviously the nuts on there are on the top or bottom arm. So, and this is solid. This taper is solid into the top and bottom arm. So this is the movement it's getting. So if that's loose, the steering's going to be off. It's going to be very vague, and if it's too tight, it's going to be hard to turn the steering wheel. So it's really important to get that right. And there really is not much more to do than that. And then when it's on, when it's back on the suspension, you can actually use the arm, use that steering arm. When it's tightened up completely, you can actually use the steering arm and pull on it with that weight, like I was talking about before, and you can see it.